Welcome to episode 8 of Clever Dicks. In episode 8, we're going to talk about the characters that we meet while swimming. So I think starting off with Clever Dick Duncan, what are some of the characters that really spring to mind when you're thinking of going swimming?
So there's a lot, Jim, and I guess it differs whether you have a small group or a big group, but when you're swimming through your journey, you will come across every single one of these crazy idiots that we're going to talk about now. The first one is the organizer, right? This is the dude that plans the daily or weekly swims. He's normally sort of the administrator, and he sorts out a WhatsApp group or a text message or whatever the case might be. He's normally got tons of patience because he's got to deal with tons of questions and comments and, oh, this is too early for me. Can't you make it 30 minutes later? And, oh, my God, why are we going so far? The organizer, in my opinion, needs a damn medal, but completely instrumental with regards to, swim groups and getting people off their lazy asses and into the ocean. So that's the first dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. So sometimes you've got to choose your organizer as well, though, because there's one organizer I know that organizes swims and doesn't even arrive to them. So you've got to be careful about those.
He's a clever dick, that guy.
Oh, and it's how they deal with mutiny. We were swimming this morning, and our organizer was out there, and on the way back, he was quite clear that he was swimming back to the beach. And two of the swimmers actually mutinied and went and swam around some of the boats. So, you've got to be aware that mutiny sometimes occurs when you're an organizer.
Yeah, tricky. What have you got on your list?
Well, you kind of covered them. Sometimes you get those fussers, that the people that make the organizer's job a bit hard,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to swim 3.5. I need to swim 3.8 kilometers, or otherwise my coach is going to, we need to do extra. Or can you make the swim a bit warmer, please?
Those normally chicks,
Normally, but not always. There's a couple of chicks out there that are very blokey in appearance, I'll tell you what.
All right. What about a navigator? All right. So the organizer's done his job. We all arrive on the beach, and now we need to know where to go, right? And there's normally somebody, and it sometimes is the organizer, it's sometimes somebody else who has got some type of expert sort of knowledge of that particular bay or beach and the currents and the tides, and they would give the route, right? Hey, we're going to go to Yellow Buoy number 1, and then we're going to go clockwise around the reef, whatever the case might be. Navigator.
Yeah, often the organizer, but not always. It's always good to have that bit of local knowledge. Of course, if you're going to the pool, the navigator is pretty easy. You just follow the black line, and when you get to the end, remember to turn. Yeah.
If you don't remember to turn, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Navigator's pretty cool. So, some of the other people that you kind of got there is you've got the nurse. Or the care or something like that. So what's really good about swimming with a group is that you quite often got somebody who's always looking after others. It might be looking after somebody who's new in the water or new to that beach or something like that. Those often underrated are the people who just do the head counts before you get in and after you get out. And just making sure that everyone's there and accounted for.
Yep. So definitely those are the guys that would. I know in our group there's always one or two guys that would be swimming at different paces with the different levels of swimmers in our group, and they'll swim from the slower swimmer to somebody that's going wide and almost pull them back in, and then like you say on stops. I'm quite happy to, have a breath and clear my goggles at the stop, but the nurse will be counting, making sure everybody that should be at the stop is at the stop. And also in what condition that those swimmers are at, right? So if we're doing a long swim, the nurse will be, hey, Duncan, are you okay? You're puffing and puffing a little bit, or are you still good to go another another 2Ks. If not, hey, I'm happy to turn around and go back to the beach with you. So really just making sure everybody's good, everybody's safe, and everybody's happy, right? A lot of the swim groups that I've been to, the plan is to stop at point A and point B and regroup. But there's always, a couple of guys that are too eager, too fast, and don't want to wait for the slower swimmers, and then it ends up just becoming pear-shaped when you're out there. And if you are a newbie or a slower swimmer, that's pretty lousy place to be, right? Where you just feel like you're left alone and nobody's there waiting for you. So those nurses are awesome. We need more of them.
Yeah, and I suppose the other side of that is you don't get it too often, but you do have sometimes they're just in it for themselves, so that they don't want to wait for everybody else. They're feeling strong, they want to keep going. So you do get a little bit of that, and I sometimes feel that I'm a little bit guilty of that. I'm
Sure.
not great at, especially when the water's cold. Stopping isn't something that I feel really good at.
With that said, maybe an opinion is that swimmers as a community in general are pretty good at being sociable and looking after everybody else. I find that swimmers are quite good at that, Jim. But yes, there's always the one arsehole that maybe just takes it a little bit too seriously, right?
Yeah. And then you get the chatterboxes. So when you actually stop for a bit of a breather, if you don't actually get going, then you're going to be there in 10 minutes' time still hearing about their holiday from 5 years ago, right?
When they take their goggles off, you're in shit, right? Because now they're going to have a proper chat, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right, so how about getting into the water? What different characters have you noticed when people are getting in the water?
Well, I guess there's the procrastinator. The guy that will walk up to the beach and then sort of stand on the end with tippy toes, trying to psych himself up or herself up to get in. That's definitely the one. There's the soldier dude that just marches in and pretends that, he doesn't feel the temperature and doesn't give any emotion away.
That's a good name, yeah.
Soldier. What do you reckon you are? Soldier?
Oh, no, I'm a T-Rex. I'm the little dinosaur, with the little hands, and it's cold.
Hey, especially when you're swimming in togs, right? It's quite easy when you go in and the guys are in wetsuits and you walk in slowly and everybody's chit-chatting. But from my perspective, when you get in and that cold water gets to nuts level is when things start getting serious, right? Because that's when the T-Rex story happens.
Oh, absolutely. And then you've got to trust your swimmers around there, because the other one is the splasher. Which happens to be one of the clever dicks here.
Not guilty.
Sits there seeing the T-Rex guys and says, how can I make it worse?
Okay, guilty as charged.
Yeah.
But I do make you smile, right?
Yeah. Because then you might turn the T-Rex guy into the squealer, because it's...
Funny enough, all the squealers that I know are men. None of them are women.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all know that women are tougher than us, yeah.
All right. Other types of swimmers that would always be in some group or the other. I guess there's always the slow coach. And that would be like, I don't know, the happy plotter. They're always there. They're super regular. Fit as a fiddle, but just not the paciest of swimmers, right? And they're quite happy and content to be at the back and just doing their own thing, right? The slow coach.
Yeah.
And I think we've probably all at some point in time been the slow coach, whether it be a new group that you join or whether you're coming back from an injury or illness. Being a slow coach is par for the course, right? And I think
it's actually pretty cool. Some days it's just not your day,
Yep.
and you get in there and all you want to do is plod, and
Yep.
having a group that accepts plodders is just wonderful. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. What's next on your list?
Well, you've got the just before the swim, you've got the people who are there half an hour beforehand and they're ready and they've
never
got
seen
their
them.
togs. And then you get the other group that are the just-in-timers, that sort of arrive sort of just about as everybody's getting into the water. Hold on, wait for me. No,
guilty as charged.
Just catch up, dude. Just catch up. No, I have to say, when you do arrive, which is kind of a little bit of a lottery, I have to say at the moment.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah, usually on time at least. But it's the when you arrive. Was it? You said yesterday that when we cast doubt on your coming to swim this morning, oh ye of little faith, you said.
Did I say that?
Did you come swimming this morning? Yeah, no, that's the right answer.
No, I was just checking to see if you guys would be there first,
Yeah.
Trying to keep you regular. All right, then we've got clockwork swimmers. Now, that's the dude that swims 365 days a year, come rain, shine, shit in the water, cramps, flu, doesn't matter. They're going to be there. You're a 365 day a year clockwork swimmer. If you say you're going to be there, you're there. And hats off. That's very credible, but just completely stupid.
Well, no, for me, it's routine. I've worked out is really important. So I've had chunks of my life where I've been an absolute couch potato slug, and I didn't like it. And the way that I deal with it is just routine. So
when was the last time you were a slug?
It was quite a while ago, about it was just over 20 years ago. I was very much a
Couch potato.
non-active member of society, and yeah, it didn't. I had a couple of injuries at that stage. I was a runner. I had some injuries, so there was reasons in inverted commas.
Yeah,
but it was not the right thing for me. So I just really value the routine, getting up and getting active and doing something. Yeah,
I value balance, right? So a little bit of time sleeping on the couch, a little bit of time trying to do 20k swims. Happy medium.
Yep.
All right. Newbies.
That's pretty cool, and those are the people that need to be looked after, actually, because we've all been the newbie at some point in our career, right?
Yep.
So just I remember I got down to the beach one day at Mairangi Bay, and this dude came up to me, and he says, I'm a newbie. I'm fresh off the boat from South Africa. And after a couple of minutes, I thought, this guy's going to be a right royal pain in the arse. Geez, he can talk the hind leg off a donkey. And here we are talking with each other many years later.
And he was a pain in the arse as well. But I was a newbie, right? And it's tricky. It's a tricky scenario to be in because...
yeah, you might be a good swimmer, but you don't know that group, or you don't know that...
I don't know the water, I don't know the group. 100% right. Yeah. All right. The directionally challenged. Now, from my perspective, there's always the dude, hey guys, you see the white boat in the bay on the left with the, I don't know, blue sail? We're aiming for that. And they will aim for anything other than that, right? And I guess a lot of the time, again, it's potentially new swimmers. It's potentially guys that are good swimmers from the pool and they're coming to swim in the ocean and they haven't quite mastered that sighting scenario yet. Or often it's just a case where, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll just have bad days. There's days where I can sight like an absolute guru, and there's days when my mind wanders and I'm all over the show, and before you know it, I'm swimming off in the completely wrong direction because I'm just not concentrating. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Directionally challenged?
Yeah, and then some of those become close followers.
Close followers.
So a close follower is the person that just is on your toes but touching your toes the whole time, or swimming right on your hip, but kind of almost close enough just to touch you, and they're relying on you for some direction, which is mostly cool. But sometimes I just think, you've got a whole ocean. Can I have a little bit of space?
Yeah, exactly. The lazy guys, they don't want to sight themselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then we've got summer-only swimmers. They'll be with you through the good weather, the fair weather, but then they'll disappear for 6 or 7 months of the year, and they'll come back to the squad or come back to the open water group, probably in December, and they'll disappear again in April or May.
Yeah.
Okay, the Garmin worshipper.
Ah, yes, the Garmin worshipper.
Okay, now. That's typically the swimmer that gets the end of a swim whatever the swim, right? Whatever. You've swum 2Ks, you've swum 3Ks, 3.4, whatever it is, but they've got to get to whatever number in their head is what they had planned for. Right? So they will typically swim in circles at the finish of a swim, trying to get whatever 2.789 to 3 kilometers flat, so that it just looks a little bit better on their Garmin.
Rather than calling them a Garmin worshipper, they're probably a Strava addict.
A Strava addict. Okay, it's the same category, right? Definitely the same category.
If it's not on Strava, it never happened. Right?
I must be honest, I have got to a couple of swims where I've forgotten my watch at home, or I've forgotten to charge it and it goes flat just as I'm starting. And it is actually a pretty shitty experience where you think, oh my God, my watch is not on, you know. But I guess, I don't know. What did we do in the old days?
I find it a bit liberating, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not having a watch on.
Well, you know, I don't even trust my watch because I don't have a Garmin. I've got a bit of a simpler one, and sometimes the numbers, I just don't
believe them.
Don't believe them.
Well, I've had a couple of different swims where I've swum next to people, and at the end of the swim, we've had pretty much near as damn it the same information. And I've had other swims where we've been like a kilometre apart, and we've literally swum together the whole way. So, maybe a different podcast for another day. But how does the technology work? Because obviously, it's not the most accurate.
No. It was.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Sometimes let's leave the watches at home and let's just do without it, man. Okay, post-swim.
Post-swim.
The shiverer.
I resemble that comment.
That's you, yes.
Man, I could shiver in the middle of summer. Okay, I didn't today, but that was maybe, unique.
What did you call me the other day? A definite maybe?
A definite maybe.
Yeah, that's me. And I find, again, so I'm not trying to look for excuses here, but in my mind, I'm there and nothing is going to stop me from being there. But then sometimes life sort of catches up and gets in the way, and I'll be fetching kids at midnight and the alarm clock goes off at 6 to go to a swim, and I'm just lazy, right? So I'm usually just a little bit soft and I need a little bit more sleep, or potentially not feeling that well. And I'll generally be that guy that will make the call earlier, as opposed to forcing myself to do something that I don't really want to do. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably more of a bad thing, and it's probably more laziness than anything else. I know how to say no.
That's cool. So what I've worked out, what works for me is those days when sometimes I wake up and it's just not working for me.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at the number of times I'll go and do something and end up feeling wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It certainly doesn't happen every single time, but sometimes I'm just not into it, and then I drag my ass down to the beach or to the gym or to the pool or whatever it is, and you get in and it just turns wonderful.
Fair comment. It's also the type of thing where if I don't swim, I sometimes just have a really shit day, right? Because you just don't feel, I don't know, there's just an energy about you that shouldn't be there, or you're in a bit of a mood and you can't quite put the finger onto why. And it's generally because I haven't exercised that day, right? So definitely more value in that routine as you specify than not. But at the same time, hey, we're not Olympic champions, right? So, give me a break.
And then we've got the different types of what happens after a swim. So I'm in the camp of coffee is mandatory and swimming is the usual optional thing that you do before coffee.
Yeah.
But you get others who, they'll get out of the water, they won't even get changed, wrap a towel around themselves, and they go home. Clearly they'd much prefer to have a shower in decent surroundings, or sometimes people will just get changed and, obviously coffee's not their thing or something like that, or they've just got really, really busy days. I know.
Maybe they just don't like you and they don't want to have coffee with you.
Oh, I can't believe that.
I'm telling you, I can relate. Sometimes you're just aggravating as all hell, and I don't want to have a coffee with you, Jim.
Well, I actually do understand that.
Hey, I'm the same as you. I think, obviously, part of swimming for me is the social aspect. And, a cup of coffee, talking a little bit of nonsense with your mates afterwards is generally a good thing and can't harm anybody. But how far do you have to swim to qualify for a cup of coffee?
Well, I have a set of rules around coffee and breakfast and scones and muffins. And the beautiful thing is that they're my rules and I change them on a daily basis.
Generally, though, you've got to swim X amount of distance to qualify for a coffee.
No. You just got to get your eyebrows wet for
just
coffee.
Get wet? Okay.
Yeah, just wet.
What do you need to do to get a date scone and a cappuccino?
Well, it all depends on the water temperature. So you've kind of got to balance its water temperature and time. And I haven't worked out exactly what the algorithm is. But when I do, we can talk about that at another time.
Okay,
so the colder the water, the shorter the time required. Yeah, today I managed to get a scone, but that took an hour 20's worth of swimming.
Okay, fair enough.
If I'd done 2 hours, it would have been a full fried breakfast.
Bacon and eggs.
Oh, yeah.
2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
That's a fair swim, hey? I mean, a lot of hungry people out there. I don't see a lot of guys going out and doing 2 hour swims.
Yeah. Look, when I said 2 hour swim, it doesn't mean that I went very far because I'm not.
That includes the drive there.
the shivering part of swimming.
Absolutely, you're still burning calories, right? Oh wow. The coffee shop swimmers, right? That's definitely guys that maybe just come to the swim just for the coffee. Would that be relevant?
Well, we've got some swimmers that have been known to arrive for a full fried breakfast without doing any swimming whatsoever, and they just claim it's the social club. Yeah,
the social club.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking out my list here. The other one that we've forgotten is the speedster. There's always the one dude that's off the front and pushing the group ahead. We've got a particular dude, and he knows his name. He always has a yellow cap and a broken wetsuit. And he always starts off like the damn clappers. Right? And he hauls arse. And at the moment he's a little bit unfit, so he tends to slow down as quickly as he speeds up. But when he's fit, he's a complete pain in the arse because he just pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes the whole way.
Yeah, always get that. Although, if they're doing it well, they might stop and swim back and collect the last swimmer. So we've got one friend who's pretty good at doing that.
Yep.
And I suppose that's always the challenge. If you're swimming with a group of people, they might all be your mates, but you're not necessarily going to swim at the same pace. So, just working out a way to sort of keep the group together and to all have fun without necessarily feeling like you have to swim slow because everybody else is swimming slow. So just getting something that works for everybody is.
Does every swim group have an arsehole? Or does it come in phases?
I think, arseholes are. I don't know how to answer that one. I think I'm going to edit this out.
Arseholes are allowed though, right? You're allowed to be an arsehole.
Oh, it doesn't have to be the same person every swim though.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It revolves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've got on my list, Jim. Pretty much covers a swim squad, or not a swim squad, but a swim group. And I think over time, from my perspective, our little squad has become a little bit of a family. And we tend to enjoy some out of swimming activities together. I know you guys go and watch rugby together, for example. We have the odd barbecue together. And from my perspective, that's what swimming's all about, right? That's you get a little bit of exercise, you get a little bit of fun, and you socialise with guys that have got similar themes and similar ideas and similar goals. So let us know on cleverdicksnz@gmail.com what type of guys you've got in your swim group, guys.
Great, thank you. Or you can just put a comment on our Instagram posts and let us know that way as well.
Awesome day.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. In our next episode, we're going to talk to Sue Sherwin. Sue's an amazing swimmer. She's done the New Zealand Triple Crown. Not many people do that when they're already a grandmother. And has also completed a 2-kilometre ice swim.
This is like straight out the blocks, first swim back after 20 years.
Yes, 20 years.
3 Ks.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Oh, it puts things in
Okay, this is the maths teacher vibe again.
If you're enjoying listening to the podcast, please click like or subscribe on whatever podcast system you're doing, and also tell your friends about it on social media. Thanks. Bye.